We're facing a defining moment, an inflection point. Make no mistake, democracy is on the ballot for all of us.
Now, have we had ever a midterm before where we have been able to say democracy is truly on the line?
Not in the way that we are tonight. 1860, the time of the brink of the Civil War, 1940, when freedom was in danger around the world against Hitler and the Imperial Japanese and Italian fascism. This is a midterm where this could happen extremely fast. The rule of law in this country is in danger, and especially free and fair elections. If we don't have a democracy, if we lose our freedoms, if we lose elections, then it's not going to matter very much what gas prices are, because we won't have a system that makes sure that we live in a lawful and prosperous way. That's what's at stake this week. Americans gave their lives at Valley Forge and on D-Day and at Selma to preserve those freedoms. Are we going to give them up this week because we're so obsessed with issues that, granted, are extremely important to Americans and should be, but at the same time, for over 2 centuries, we have said the way you get satisfaction on those issues is to make sure that the system survives. I don't want to lose our freedoms this week. I want what Abraham Lincoln would have called a new birth of freedom. I hope we see that beginning on Tuesday night.
I just want to circle back to this question of democracy,
Right.
which can seem really esoteric and big, but I think for people who are in the work, it feels really real. That
and it is real.
We're teetering.
Yes, and I think things could have been a lot worse in 2020. They were bad. Could have gotten worse. I worry about this election in 2022. I worry here in Arizona, possibly being the ground zero of a really challenging period in our country's history with regards to democracy. And it's not only my race, it's the governor's race, Secretary of State, Attorney General. Those races are critical.
On Tuesday, Americans will go to the polls in the first national election since the insurrection of January 6, 2021. Perhaps 300 election deniers are on the ballot across America. At stake is not only the policies of ordinary times, but the viability and the durability of American democracy itself. I wish this were hyperbolic. I wish it were hypothetical, but it's neither. Democracies are always contingent and conditional enterprises. They depend not only on the substance of laws and of institutions, but on the characters of leaders and of the led. In a democracy, the pursuit of power for power's sake, devoid of devotion to equal justice and fair play, is tempting, but it's destructive. This is why the unfolding voting in the midterm elections is so important. There are forces abroad in the land that are choosing to put their own power ahead of everything else. To them, politics is not a mediation of differences, but an occasion for total war. Usually, a vote is about policy, a tax rate, say, or immigration reform. This year's vote is about more than that. It's about whether elected Republican officials will obey the law, fairly count the votes in 2024, and obey the will of the people.